Hey, what's going on, guys? The Beldam is back for a brand new video. And I know it's been a couple of weeks, uh, more of a month since my last video, but I'm going to tell you something, a little fact about me when it comes to this. Doing this, I think I've said this before, I think, but doing this whole YouTube thing is getting on here and talking to a camera. It's nerve-wracking for me. I'm I'm just not the kind of person who like feels comfortable doing this. I'd rather just I- I'd rather be on live streams with other people so I can have at least have someone to talk to. Or occasionally, if you guys are subscribers or friends of mine, you'll occasionally see me in the chats of my other friends on here. But I'm not really the type that feels comfortable doing this, you know? Even after doing quite a few videos, I still haven't reached that peak where I feel comfortable doing this yet. Maybe I will eventually, but I'm just like, I've always been introverted. And I swear that's not an excuse. I'm being honest. I've always been introverted. So doing stuff like this is hard. I'm just letting you all know that. So, with that said, I, uh, I've been struggling to really think of content for this channel. I know I've said that, but I really am trying to think of stuff to do with this channel. I really want to continue doing the Stein Revisited series, and I'm trying with that. Maybe I was thinking of doing live readings of the books on here, and live readings of other books I enjoy. Some that might be new to me. So I don't know. Maybe, but I would like to continue doing that for this channel. And doing just like book reviews in general. I really want to do more book reviews because I do love reading. The movie reviews may like be spaced out because not really like I love movies and I love reviewing them, but I'm not really a genuine movie critic, you know. So I like to I like to discuss movies. I'm not a critic, but I really want to talk about them. And I have watched quite a few movies over the past 2 weeks. I've seen a couple in the theaters, in the theater, one word. Uh, I I did a double feature yesterday, and those are what this video is primarily going to be about. But and I wanted to do like a little haul after like stuff that I got from Amazon today. But first, I'm going to talk about two movies that I watched yesterday. I saw Don't Breathe 2 and Free Guy. Now, I watched the original before I went to see the new one. I rewatched the original Don't Breathe, and this is still one of my favorite home invasion movies in that subgenre. I really, really love this one. I still gave it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I think it's really, really solid. The lighting is excellent. Uh, the story is unique, and this is just an overall excellent, excellent movie. Don't Breathe 2 is. I really. I didn't enjoy Don't Breathe 2 as much as the first one. This is. This is. Reviewing movies on here is really difficult. I'm clearing my head of all the noises here. Don't Breathe 2, I didn't enjoy it quite as much because it really, I don't know, like I'm better in writing my reviews than I am talking about them. But to sum this up, if, the first one was mainly about suspense. This one it was a little more about action. This was a more heavily action-oriented film, and I didn't really enjoy that aspect. Uh, I just I didn't want a repeat of the last. I didn't want a repeat, but it just didn't feel like. I didn't feel like this movie needed a sequel. I'm just gonna say that. I really didn't feel like this movie needed a sequel. This is an absolutely perfectly good movie on its own. A sequel, wherever they took the story, which in this one didn't really feel like it really needed to happen, in my opinion. But everything just felt so forced. Like, it just feels like, it felt like the sequel's stains were all over it. Not to say that a good sequel to any movie can't happen. It's just that with this movie, it just felt like the writing was very, very lazy, and I'm sure I don't know who thought a sequel to this movie would work or could work, but it was just a very, very kind of it was a very I just I just gonna I just thought it was bland. I thought the movie was very, very bland, very the I'm not gonna just sit here and nitpick everything, but it's just like there's a lot of stuff in this movie that I didn't really enjoy. The color palette, for instance, in this movie was compared to like the lighting in the first one had really impeccable, compatible. Ugh, I can't talk. Uh, it had really excellent lighting, really excellent uses of lighting, is what I'm saying. This one didn't really have that for the most part. It it was mostly just kind of a lot of just ugly, like kind of the color in this one was desaturated. The color in this one was desaturated. It honestly reminded me a lot of the color scheme they used for Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. And the color scheme in that one, it was a similar thing here. It was just a lot of browns and greens and stuff, except for a couple of instances where they show like a lot of pops of blue and like red and orange, which I thought those moments were really cool. And I just thought this movie was really kind of boring. I'm sure, like, I think Stephen Lang uh, he did the best he could with the script he was given, but it was just like a very bland movie. So yeah, those are just my summer. That's just my summary thoughts. I know that's very vague, but and then and the other movie I saw was Free Guy. I really, really love this movie. Like, I obviously have to watch it again to get like to understand the complexities of the plot a little more because when I was watching it, I was interrupted by a phone call, so I missed a little bit of it to take it. But from what I've seen, I will say that next to James Gunn's Suicide Squad and Psycho Gorman, This is probably going to be my favorite comedy of this year. Even though it was supposed to come out last year, but you don't know why that didn't happen. So I'm pretty sure most of you know the plot to Free Guy. It's Ryan Reynolds is kind of like he's like an algorithm character inside this online game world called Free City. It's kind of like a RPG. I don't know if that's how you use it correctly. It's like an online RPG, kind of like a live action role play chat, and he's kind of like he's like a it's like an algorithmic character. He's a non-player character, but then he suddenly starts developing a conscience, and from there, just him, he just becomes this guy who's just learning about love, and like there's kind of like there's this world outside that the like player characters are just introduced are talking about, and he just goes on this mission, and then Taika Waititi plays this really hilarious this corporation president, and it's just so adorable and it's so freaking funny. I was There was only me and one other guy, or I'm pretty sure there was one other guy in this showing I was in, but I was watching it and I was laughing my ass off through most of the jokes in this movie. This movie's PG-13, but it draws that line between like the humor draws that line between like PG-13 and R. And knowing this is a 20th Century Studios, uh, which was acquired, we all know this was acquired by Disney. So basically, this is a Disney movie. I'm, I'm not gonna say I'm surprised because this is the 20th Century Studios is where they put more of like their adult films. But knowing that fact, I was still surprised at some of the jokes that were allowed in this movie because it's Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, and I love Ryan Reynolds' humor. I do. He's just so freaking funny in this, and but just thinking back on like some of the stuff that happens in this movie, it's so funny. I loved it, and it was so like you're rooting for this NPC character. You're rooting for this NPC character because he's just kind of he has like I can't talk today. He has this naivete to him. He reminds me a lot of Buddy the Elf from Elf. He has that kind of naivete, but he slowly starts growing a conscience, and the players outside in the real world, they're becoming more and more fascinated with this like non-player character, and they're rooting for him because he's doing all these kick-ass things, but nobody he's not being controlled by anyone, and it's just a great movie. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen a ton of Sean Levy's movies in a while. Like I just before doing this, I just went through his IMDb, just scrolling what he did. I was honestly kind of surprised in some of the stuff he was involved in. Like he has like a really solid career on his hands. Like he has a lot of really interesting credits. But from his movies, the only ones I've seen uh, were like childhood favorites of mine were Big Fat Liar and the Night at the Museum movies. I loved both of those movies. I think I've loved a little. I think I love Night at the Museum a little more as an adult because than Big Fat Liar because uh, mainly because a little more of the adult jokes and some of the scenarios in that movie. But I haven't seen Big Fat Liar in a while. But I really love that movie, particularly because of Paul Giamatti, and I love Paul Giamatti. I need to see more of his movies though, like more of his adult roles. But yeah, Free Guy, just a great movie. He was a great comedy, a freaking great surprise too. Like, this is a movie that I think a lot of people were expecting to like really bomb and not do as well. But from the reviews that I've seen, a lot of people were really surprised by how much they enjoyed this movie, and I don't blame them. It's a great comedy. It's a great movie. So I had fun with it. I had more fun with this movie than Don't Breathe 2. And again, and I just really loved it. It's a it's an awesome movie, and I can't wait to buy and rewatch it. And so those two reviews are done. A quick little haul of stuff I got today from Amazon. So I got the collector's edition of House of Wax. And this pretty much completes in a loose term because Dark Castle did more movies outside of these, but these to me are the main four of like big like remakes of that time of like the early 2000s time period. And so I got all four now. House of Wax, 13 Ghost, House on Haunted Hill, and Ghost Ship. And I think I would rank them as my favorite, second favorite, third, and fourth. I really do enjoy Ghost Ship. This one scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. It really, really did. And it wasn't just the opening scene. Everything after this movie had some really, really creepy moments outside of just the opening scene. So yeah, I just got those. I mean, this one. I've had these three already. But I got some other. These other two. I got Spiral from the Book of Saw. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I liked it a lot more than Jigsaw, which was the last, I guess, Saw reboot they tried. This one, to me, it felt like its own story, but it's still set in the same world of like those previous movies, and I don't think Chris Rock was over the top in this one. Like, he played it pretty straight, and this is a really awesome, just like Saw movie in general. I really enjoyed this movie. I wasn't crazy about the twist. I'm not gonna lie. The twist was kind of like the twist ending was kind of anticlimactic, and the traps were kind of like those like old school traps like from the first Saw movies, like the old school Saw movies, the Saw movies in general. But yeah, they were kind of hit and miss. But I think we can also go see these movies now just for the traps and just to see them again after so long. To me, it counts after like Saw 7, which was the last really not good Saw movie. Uh, the last good Saw movie to me was Saw 6. But this one is really, really good. And then, last one, I got another childhood classic. I never thought that that Scream Factory, of all companies, would be the one to get their hands on this and release it on Blu-ray. That's the thing about Scream Factory. They're always they're always releasing like they're just like surprise dropping like releases on us. They're just like, hey, there's this movie that you probably didn't think was gonna get a Blu-ray. Well, now it's getting a Blu-ray, so you're welcome, or something like that. But yeah, this one they could have just done a base. They could have just done a basic bare bones Blu-ray, and I think most people would have been satisfied with it. But they went above and beyond. True, this one doesn't have that artwork for the collector's editions, which is a shame, because I would have loved for this one to get a collector's edition with new artwork. But they got a bunch of new features on here that I'm really looking forward to diving into. And seeing as how I am a I'm not crazy about spiders. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not really afraid of them as much as I used to be, but oof, this one still kind of makes my skin crawl. But yeah, this one's really special to me because my grandma took me to see this when I forgot when this came out. I don't remember when it came out, but let's just say I was like a literally really little kid at the time, and yeah, she took me to see this, and I remember having a really good time with it, and I revisited it quite a few times over the years because it's one of my favorite creature features. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Just glad they got it. I'm just glad they got us a a Blu-ray edition of this after all these years. So yeah, quick little video. Uh, if you're still watching this, I want to thank you for sticking with me for all this time, even though I take breaks, long breaks between videos, and I I'm trying to work on like I want. I, sorry, I said at the beginning of this video already. Doing this is hard. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate all your comments and likes and stuff. So let me know what you think of this video, and I will see you hopefully very soon.